Hey guys, I'm Dee. Welcome back to Delving into the Cold. A few announcements before we start. I want to apologize. I know that I didn't get a podcast or a video out last week. And that's just simply because I had more important things going on because I had some sickness in the family that I had to take care of. I've been hurt for 2 weeks, and so I've been trying to deal with that. I started back to work last week, or week before last, sorry, and so it's just been hard to try to find time. But I'm back. Everyone seems to be on the mend, and hopefully I'll get 2 videos and 2 podcasts out this week. That's the dream, anyway. So today is going to be the third part of our installation of our Urban Legend Week. And we're going to talk about a legend that I think a lot of people have heard about in one form or another. And it's a urban legend that's been around since the 1950s. It's been told over and over and over again. It's been made into movies such as Candyman, I Know What You Did Last Summer, things like that. So I guess that kind of gives it away. We're going to be talking about the Hook Man legend, or the Hook legend as it's often called. So let me kind of set the scene for you about kind of what the standard of this story is. A teenage couple who are on a secluded lover's lane, and they're doing what teenagers do when they're alone at night in a car in a secluded place. And all of a sudden, a news bulletin comes on and tells them that there is a murderer escaped from a nearby insane asylum, and that he could be in the area. Well, immediately the girl goes in a freak out mode. Please take me home. I'm scared. I don't want to be out right now. You know, he could come and get us. I don't want to get hurt. And the guy is just not having it. He's just like, no, absolutely not. That's ridiculous. I'm not going to take you home because of, this. But eventually, she keeps arguing and she keeps fighting him back until he agrees and he takes her home. Somewhat angrily, but still he takes her home. When she gets home, she goes to, get out of the car and get to the house really fast. And she opens the door and screams because on the outside door handle is a bloody hook. And there are other variations of the story, such as the couple hears the sound of scratching, or the girl hears the sound of scratching, or the sound of screeching like metal against metal. And there's even stories in which one or both of the teenagers die. And there's one story in particular where the boyfriend gets out of the car to relieve himself, we'll say, and the girlfriend hears the news bulletin followed by scratches on the car roof. And she freaks out, and it turns out that he has been hung from a tree, and the boyfriend has, and the scratching that she hears is the sound of his feet on the car roof. So again, as with any kind of classic urban legend, there's going to be variations on it, and there's going to be certain things that are different. So, as I mentioned before, the story seems to have originated in the 1950s, and a big thing back in the day, and still for some cultures today, is absolutely no premarital sex. And so it's believed that the story was created as a cautionary tale for young people against premarital sex. I guess essentially it's one of those if you have sex you'll die kind of things. And it in 1960, someone even wrote into Dear Abby claiming, that the story was real and that's what it was for. And if you kind of look at the story itself, you can kind of see in the original story, where some psychologists believe that it does have sexual undertones. The hook obviously being the male genitalia, the killer being the idea of premarital sex, the voice coming onto the radio to warn the people to get back to their homes is the boy's conscience, and then the ripping off of the hook would be considered, castration. And that's pretty well believed in the psychological community. They believe that that's, I guess you would call it a Freudian way to look at the legend. And that's kind of where it started out. It started out as being, kind of a cautionary tale against premarital sex, to where it's now kind of supposed to be a scary story. And that's kind of evidenced in your popular movies like Candyman, or I Know What You Did Last Summer, and things of that sort. It's supposed to be scary, it's supposed to frighten you, but it's not supposed to necessarily be a cautionary tale anymore. And, another possibility of where this story originated, or where it kind of gained traction, was perhaps it did start as a cautionary tale, and then actual murders began to happen on lovers' lanes, such as the killings of the Zodiac, or the killings of the Phantom Killer, or Son of Sam. These killings a lot of times did take place between couples on, secluded lovers' lanes, and the story, during the time period that these murders happened, could certainly have gained traction that way, and kind of maybe added fuel to the fire, I guess you could say. And that's kind of where they kept going. There's not, necessarily a concrete answer of where this came from, and I think that that's pretty common with urban legends. They're just something that is heard and kind of repeated over and over again, and I don't think that this one is any exception. That's just about all I could find. I looked at multiple sources on this one. I'm talking about, a lot of sources. And they pretty much just all agreed on the same thing. There's the standard story, there's the psychological findings of sexual undertones in the story, there's, tie-in to certain serial killers, and things of that sort. So that's all I've got for you this week. I know that it's a super short episode, and I apologize. A lot of the legend podcast will be, because there's just, unlike with cold cases or unsolved mysteries, there's not a set of evidence that I can list, or a set of suspects that I can list out for you. So, as usual, let me know what you think. You can hit me up any of the various ways that you want. My email address is coldunsolvedmysteries@gmail.com. You can find me on Tumblr at capslock DEE 9191994, I believe. I'm on Instagram at DEE 9413. You can find me, or you can go to the website, which is listed. You can go to Podbean to listen to it. You can go to YouTube and search Deanna Vonderheide and check out the YouTube videos. There are multiple ways to get in contact with me, and I love hearing from you guys. I love being contacted, and I love hearing not only what you think about the cases that I discussed, but other cases that you'd like me to discuss. Alright guys, stay safe, stay curious, and I'll see you next time.